Harrison Ford is one of the biggest movie stars of all time. He was in Francis Ford Coppola classics like The Conversation and Apocalypse Now. He was in action movies like The Fugitive, and even starred alongside someone else we talked about on this channel, Gene Wilder, in the movie The Frisco Kid. Everyone recognizes Harrison Ford from something, which is odd considering that he wasn't really in any famous franchises, right? What some of you might not know, though, is that Harrison Ford's mother's family is Jewish. That's right. And folks, I am really excited to talk about this one because, as it turns out, some of his family intersects with my hometown of Highland Park, New Jersey. So we're going to learn about Harrison Ford's matrilineal line, as well as a tasty little slice of New Jersey history. I'm Yonah Paley, and I believe genealogy is fun. And on today's episode, we'll be going into Harrison Ford's matrilineal line. Harrison Ford was born July 13, 1942 in Chicago, Illinois, to John William Ford and Dorothy Needleman. Dorothy hailed from Roselle, New Jersey, and was the youngest of two children. And on the 1940 census, she's living already with John William Ford, who went under the name of Christopher, and they were together as a married couple. But it wasn't until 2 years later, in 1942, that they would officially get hitched, while Dorothy was already pregnant with our beloved baby, Harrison. Dorothy's father, Harry Needleman, was a jitney bus driver who died tragically at the age of 35. So she was just 2.5 years old when he died, so she never knew her father. Dorothy's mother was Anna Lipschitz, an immigrant from modern-day Belarus. And I want to take a side journey for a minute to talk about Anna's brother, because this is where the New Jersey Highland Park tie-in begins. Remember when I said a moment ago that Harry was a bus driver? Well, Anna actually had a brother who was also a jitney bus driver. And not only that, he founded a bus company that savvy New Jerseyans like myself might recognize. Morris Lipschitz lived in the small town of Highland Park, New Jersey, which is a suburb of a nearby city called New Brunswick, which is where Rutgers University is located. Now, I was really excited to learn that Morris actually attended a synagogue called Ahavas Achim, which is the same synagogue that I went to as a kid. In addition to that, he founded a bus company called Suburban Transit, which is actually the same exact line that I used to take to get from New Brunswick to New York City back in my college days. It's still an operating bus line and generally transports people to New York City and back. According to Anna's 1959 obituary, it says that she was a former New Brunswick resident and that she had a brother named Morris. And when I was looking through Find a Grave at Anna's gravestone, I noticed that there were a few more gravestones with a similar square shape of people with the last name Lipschitz. And these turned out to be siblings of Anna's. I found 4 of them, and I believe, though, there were probably more. We also got to learn Anna's Hebrew name from her gravestone, which was Nechama, daughter of Chaim. And by examining a few marriage certificates, I was able to also figure out the name of their mother, Anna's mother, which was Fruma Genin, probably pronounced something like Henin in the original Russian language. It's not certain exactly what town in Belarus they came from, though it's clear it was from somewhere in Minsk province. Two candidates that spring to mind from the records are Azarici and Osipovici, whose Yiddish transliterations look similar enough to one another that I can see how they might have gotten mixed up. Lipschitz, along with its variants like Lifshitz, is a very, very common Jewish last name. And unfortunately, the siblings don't appear to have ever lived together in the United States, which has made tracing their family quite difficult. Though I do believe, given what we know about them, that we have the name of their parents, we know that for the most part they lived in New Jersey, it's probably possible to trace them even further, though it would take a decent amount of work and effort. But there you have it. Harrison Ford's great-grandmother was a woman named Fruma Genin, likely from somewhere in modern-day Belarus. And along the way, we got to learn a lot about Highland Park, a town that will always be near and dear to my heart. So that wraps up this video on the matrilineal family of Harrison Ford. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'm looking forward to bringing you more videos and personal tips and tricks regarding genealogy. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.